Well, Jesus was a man who traveled through the land, a hard-working man and brave. Well, he said to the rich, give your money to the poor. We're glad Jesus Christ came to save. Hey, hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Well, we're glad Jesus Christ came to save. Well, he went to the sinners and he went to the saints, and he told them all the same. He said, take up your cross and come follow me. We're glad Jesus Christ came to save. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Well, we're glad Jesus Christ came to save. When Jesus came to town, all the working folks around believed what he did say. But the enemies of God, they nailed him to the cross. We're glad Jesus Christ came to save. The Son of Man came to die, the sinner's debt he paid. Well, he came as a servant, he could have been a king. We're glad Jesus Christ came to save. Yeah! Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Well, we're glad Jesus Christ came to save. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Well, we're glad Jesus Christ came to save. Well, this song was written so you could hear the things that Jesus had to say. Well, if Jesus preached to you what he preached in Galilee, you'd be glad Jesus Christ came to save. Come on now. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Well, we're glad Jesus Christ came to save. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Well, we're glad Jesus Christ came to save. Amen. Before leaving earth, lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. For God so much loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, that whoever believeth in him shall not die, but live on, living on through the Son, living on to the one. Hey, lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Yes, the road is narrow. Yes, the road is long. But whoever remaineth in him shall not die, but live on, living on through the Son, living on to the one. Hey, lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Away, instructions before leaving Earth. Basic instructions before leaving Earth. Basic instructions before leaving. Hey, hey, hey!
Well, Ben at Robinson's Maximus.
A sale? I just bought you some shoes last week. 3 talents if you... Oh, no, here it is. You're always wanting shoes. How about some new robes? I mean, you've been wearing that rag for ages. Did you know that fish ages in direct proportion to the temperature? Like, when the temperature gets really hot, the fish age more quickly, and then that means more dead fish on the shore, and that means more scavenging animals near town. Oh, did I tell you that Jebediah's son got bit by a lion?
But remember, we're talking about sandals. I told you I wanted to try something new.
And didn't I tell you that all shoe sales are the same? Sandals or sandals? You probably want to try those new kind that Doc Martinez makes. You know, shoes are shoes. I don't understand why men are so obsessed with shoes. You probably have 50 pair in your closet right now. And speaking of closets, did you ever pack up all those old clothes and take them down to the Follow the Law Army and give them to the poor? Those people do the greatest work. You know, one time I saw this one guy take a used turtle dove and he made the
I'm trying to follow the conversation. All the young shepherds are wearing those new Doc Martens shoes. I think they're kind of weird. You'd think that they could take a census, like the one that Caesar Augustus is doing, that they can make a different type of shoe.
Oh, that census. Have you ever seen such crowds? You know, I was down at the market the other day, and the line to buy mutton chops was practically from here to Egypt. And there's this guy over in the talents only lane. He was buying enough fish and loaves to feed 5,000 people. And speaking of 5,000 people, the rush walk to work this morning was awful. There were people all over the street, and everybody seemed to be going the same way. And of course, there's this guy on the left side of the road, and he's walking really slow, and that jammed up everything. I don't know. They really ought to do something about that.
What we have here is a failure to communicate.
Who's going to Hebron?
Josiah.
Yeah?
Honey, I noticed that all the other shepherds were down at the well, and they seemed to all be waiting for something. Josiah told me that he had to go to Hebron to get counted for the census. He said he felt like he was going to miss something big while he was gone.
I don't know why he was going to Hebron.
He was born there.
What? Josiah's never been out of Bethlehem in his whole life.
That's for sure. But remember his mother? She liked to dream big. They got this word of this thing called a shelter share. So they sat on this 2-hour informational talk about the shelter share, and then they were supposed to receive a free ram.
What in the world is a shelter share?
I'm not sure. But they were in the middle of the talk, and she went into labor, and the next thing you know, Josiah's off to Hebron to get counted for the census. And the weird thing is that shelter share guy, he followed him right into Delivery Cave and kept on talking. In fact, I think he's the guy that delivered Josiah.
You know, that just goes to show you, you should stay where you're born. You know, you work here, you live here, and you die here. That's why I keep this job at the pasture. I put in my nights, I watch the sheep, I get decent pay and benefits. I drive a really nice camel. And life is just a bowl of olives. Oh, did you hear there's this guy down at the shore and he's putting some red things in olives and selling them? Have you ever thought about that? I don't know.
Back to
I kind of think we need to...
Everyone knows it's the benefits. It's the benefits that makes it all work. You think that it's benefits that make it all work.
I don't know. Jebediah says this month's been really weird. He hasn't even lost one lamb. And not one wolf has been seen since the end of November. Japheth, you know that new day shift shepherd? Well, he says the sheep are pretty much hurting themselves.
The day shift guys all feel like that. They're insinuating that they're better shepherds than the night shift shepherds. I don't know what's happened to people's manners. It used to be when I was a kid like Japheth was considered a smart aleck. Now what do they call them? Generation XXBII?
Oh, settle down, mister. Don't let him get your blood pressure up. Oh, did you take your blood pressure herb today?
Yes.
The doctor says
No need
that
to
you
nag.
Well, I think that JPET kid might have something, though. You know, the other night, I thought the herd had seen a wolf on a distant hill, and the whole herd was like looking up in one direction. And when I looked up, I saw not a wolf, but a star.
Of course you saw a star. What'd you think you'd see? People flying across the sky with blinking lanterns?
Try to be kind to your wife, mister. This was not your ordinary star. No, sir. This one looked to be in the sky just above Bethlehem. It was as bright as the moon. I don't know. Something big is going on.
Now that you mention it, the guys have been talking more about strange things down at the camel shop. Anyway, camel accessories is a dying business. It used to be I could sell a kid who bought his first camel all kinds of accessories to make that hump look better. Nowadays, mom and dad just buys that fancy camel to begin with. Anyway, all the men seem to think that Caesar has reason to want to count us. They say he's going to raise taxes on every household that has myrrh.
That's just about everybody. I mean, I don't think JPET has any, but I think almost anybody who is anyone has jars full. You know, I wish our jars were just a little bit bigger. There's this new shop downtown called Crate and Clay Pot, and they sell the cutest little jars, and I wondered
Honey,
if you
about the
thought maybe
census,
I'd
they say that's just Caesar's point. Tax something that's indispensable, and you can't quit using it. You can't avoid it.
Those Romans, you know, they're really getting on my nerves. Pretty soon they're going to be telling us where to live and what to wear. And the Romans are just as, Pharisees are just as bad as the Romans. I mean, they say, we've got 10,000 laws to follow already. And they tell us we've got just a few more things you need to do. Oh, sure, it's for your own good. But if you don't follow them, we'll probably burn you or behead you or some equally gruesome death. I really just wish somebody'd come along and send all those rule makers packing. You know, a girl can't even use her myrrh in peace.
That's what people at work are saying. They're saying that it's time for a new king. I even heard so many people are saying it, that rumor got back to that territorial guy Herod, and he's beside himself. I guess he's got some racket going on that keeps him and his family pretty well set up, and they're okay with that. So he's not welcoming any talk of a new king.
I heard that Herod guy's pretty grouchy. You know, he has food tasters, and they test the food for taste.
What's that mean?
Well, if they taste the food and they think it tastes good, and Herod doesn't,
Oh, I guess he's not getting many people applying for that job.
I'll say. You know, Geronophilus has a kid that got a new job, and he says that he's cleaning the goat stalls at the market at night and just...
all these people are excited, and nobody knows why. What do you think it is?
Do you want to know what I think it is?
Pretty much everything but what we're talking about?
Don't be a wise guy, mister. Come on. You know in the scripture where it says, the one is coming?
Yeah?
This could be him.
The one?
Yeah. Think about it. There's this great big star hanging over town. Everybody's disturbed and nobody seems to know why. There hasn't been any lambs lost, and the wolves have left town. The sheep are hurting themselves. You know, the Romans are playing some angle, and Herod's lopping off heads like he was picking grapes. You know, suddenly there are crowds of people in the air. What do you think it is?
Maybe it's that guy down at the market selling those new things called burritos, I think he called them.
Wake up! It's him! The one! The Messiah! He's coming!
Oh, my entity who shall remain nameless according to the custom of my people. You could be right. The scripture does say the Messiah will be born in Bethlehem.
This is it. I'm telling you. Women know about these things. I have a feeling.
The shepherds, the angels, the king is born tonight. The king is born.
Do you know what this means? The whole world has changed. Things will never be the same. What mattered before doesn't matter now. And what didn't matter before means everything.
Things will never be the same.
You put on your shoes, head out to the pasture.
Grab your fishing loaves, it's shepherd time again.
Something's in the air, the world better get ready. The Savior arrives tonight.
And everything will be complete when he's nailed upon the tree. And the sins of all the sinners are forgiven. Forgiven. Ooh, a wild night is coming. All the world will be transformed because of his birth. And we'll all be saved because of grace and not the law.
People all will stop, staring wild wonder. The Savior shakes the world just like thunder. And everything will be complete when he's nailed upon the tree. And the sins of all the sinners are forgiven. Forgiven.
A wild night is coming. A wild night is coming.
A wild night is coming.
Come on out and dance.
Come on out and dance.
Come on out and take a stand. Come on out and dance.
Come on out and dance.
Come on out and take a stand. And everything will be complete when he's nailed upon the tree. And the sins of all the sinners are forgiven. Forgiven. Ooh, a wild night is coming. A wild night is coming. Get ready.
Somebody's down to their last dime. Somebody's running out of time. Not too far from here. Somebody's got nowhere else to go. And somebody needs a little hope. Not too far from here. And I may not know their names, but I'm praying just the same that you'll use me, Lord, to wipe away a tear. 'Cause somebody's crying not too far from here. Somebody's troubled and confused. Somebody's got nothing left to lose. Not too far from here. Somebody's forgotten how to trust. And somebody's dying for love. Not too far from here. Somebody's hurting not too far from here. Help me, Lord, not to turn away from pain. Help me not to rest while those around me weep. Give me your strength and compassion when somebody finds the road of life too steep. Somebody's troubled and confused. Somebody's got nothing left to lose. Not too far from here. Somebody's forgotten how to trust, and somebody's dying for love. Not too far from here. Now I'm letting down my guard, and I'm opening my heart. Help me speak your love to every needful ear. Jesus is waiting, not too far from here. Oh, Jesus is waiting, not too far from here. Thank you, Lord.
The Brady Bunch, the Brady Bunch. That's the way we became the Brady Bunch.
Round yourselves down those stairs and into formation. Do you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Greg, you call that shirt tucked in. Haven't I told you I want that gig line straight?
Yes, ma'am.
Why isn't that shirt tucked in?
Bobby pulled my shirt down on the way. Sir, ma'am.
What about it? Is this soldier telling the truth?
Yes, sir. I grabbed it, but only because Marcia pushed me down the stairs.
What about it?
Well, Jan pushed me down the stairs, and Bobby was the only thing I found to hold on to.
Marcia, Marcia, Marcia. You are such a liar. You know I was helping Cindy pack her backpack when you decided to push Bobby. Mom, Mom, Marcia's tying a line, and so is Jan. They're gonna make Alice yell at me.
Now, Cindy, you know what Alice just wants what's best for you kids. She just wants to know what happened.
What about it, little girl? Was Jan helping you with your backpack?
I don't remember.
Look here, little girl. I'm gonna get to the bottom of this if I have to make you all do maneuvers till the sun goes down. Drop and give me 10.
Yes, ma'am. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
You haven't said anything. I want to know what's going on.
I'm not at liberty to say.
I want the truth.
You want the truth?
I want the truth right now, soldier.
You can't handle the truth.
You give me the truth now.
Well, Jan was helping Cindy. When she stood up, I pushed Marcia. But only because she said you were a mean old battle axe.
You're right. I can't handle the truth.
Alice, did you see they're having a special with Beanie Weenies at Albertsons?
All right, troops, chow time.
I'm here doing my first confessional. I didn't think the Brady Bunch to reality would be this hard. I didn't believe them when they said they had the real Alice and the real Carol. Alice is out of her mind. She's treating us like enlisted soldiers. They told me the hardest part about this would be wearing bell bottoms.
I just saw that guy playing Greg come in here. He told me backstage that this wasn't a reality series, but reality. I think he's messing with my mind. I hate my room. Alice is always yelling at me, and that Jan girl is trying to get me off the show. I can see right through those pretty little eyes of hers to a scheming puppeteer. There's no way I'm ever gonna trust her. I do love my Bonnie Bell lip gloss, though. And that Donny Osmond guy on my wall, he's pretty cute.
I can't believe that Marcia wannabe is already blaming stuff on me. For one thing, I never touched her lip gloss. If I had to push her, it'd be down the stairs. She's mean. What's up with Mom? She's some kind of zombie or something. I think she might be Carol Brady, the real Carol Brady. This is just too weird.
I'm never going to win Brady Bunch to reality if Alice keeps acting like she's leading the D-Day invasion. When I signed on for this thing, it said whoever was the most Brady would win the money. How come nobody mentioned that Alice had gone Rambo and that Mom Brady was out to lunch?
Alice is cool. Really disciplined, and I'm really good at rules. I want to be a super cop when I grow up. Hey, I'm gonna get here and get kicked off the show. Why does everybody always yell at me just because I'm the youngest? Well, I'll show them I'm not a baby. I'll win this contest.
All right, platoon, it's time to go out the world and take it by storm. And when you all come back from school, I want those uniforms in the same condition that they're in now. So drop and give me 5.
Yes, ma'am.
Now.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4, 5.
Dismissed.
Alice, don't you think you were a little hard on Cindy today?
Mrs. Brady, you don't want her to grow up to be some blonde dingbat, do you?
No. Is that a bad thing?
You don't want her to grow up thinking everything's hunky-dory when it's really all just nonsense.
Well, no, but I do want them to have the latest fashions and hairstyle. Do you have to yell at them to get that?
I'm just looking for a few good kids.
Are you sure you're still not mad that Sam the butcher ran away with the bologna sales girl?
Have you noticed that there's a sale for Beanie Weenies?
Really?
I'm going to go out for a while. I'm going to see a play today with Carl the baker.
Ketchup, 2 for 1. Done already?
The coast is clear.
Mom, are you alone?
No, you kids are all here, dear.
I think he means, is Alice around?
No, she went backpacking with some guy named Jack.
I had to get to school, Mom.
That's good, dear. That's just fine, dear.
Mom, today the PE teacher made me run 4 extra laps just because I told him I thought he was kind of funny looking.
You can do it tomorrow, dear.
Mom, I stole Alice's deodorant and replaced it with steel wool fibers.
I'm sure she'll appreciate that, dear.
Mom, I took over my math class and made our teacher write a name on the board 500 times.
You're such a studious young man. I'm so proud of you.
But Mom, today at school, my Bonnie Bell lip gloss melted and then it stained my Gloria Vanderbilt skirt.
Oh, you poor thing. The kids probably did nothing but laugh at you all day, and you cried from embarrassment.
Well, I didn't at school, but now I can never go back there again.
The weirdest thing happened today. I went to a play with Carl the baker, and we saw a play about a housekeeper who was miserable in her lonely existence. Then, and this is the weird thing, she learned that God loves her. She goes home and she tells the children about it. And then those children, they're shallow, they're self-centered, and they are way too worried about lip gloss. Somehow it reminded me of us.
Okay, nobody told me about this. Who is Alice? And how does she see this play that we're acting like is a real play, but only the kids know it's a reality game show? And if she saw this play, how come she doesn't know about this red room?
My feelings are really hurt. First, Alice calls us shallow and self-possessed. And then she says I'm too concerned with my lip gloss. And then if you throw in the whole God thing, and Alice gets nice somehow, and she comes back in time to be with us on this reality series, but she's really the real Alice from 1973, who wasn't real anyway, but God still loves her, and he loves me too. Is it too much for a girl just to want to stay in one time period and have shiny lips? Is that so wrong?
I wonder if this God Alice learned about loves little girls who get bossed around by their older brothers and sisters. Even if I don't win this thing, I'm gonna find out more about him. I have lots of questions to ask him, like why Cindy Brady has to be the youngest in the show. She never had anybody to boss around. That's a bummer.
Okay, here's the deal. I called the 800 number and got in a show. Then I find out that everyone thinks Mom and Alice are real. Then Alice turns out to be really mean. But then goes to a play and gets curious about God and comes back nice? Does anybody know what's really going on here?
Alice said she saw us in a play when we were here, and then she came back and told us about the play she saw and said she wanted to learn more about loving God. I'm confused. I think this might be something dreamed up to try to get me kicked off the show. Nice try, Marcia. If I could, I'd vote her out of this family.
Everybody else is using it just because God believes in it. You can only do wrong too. Cool. Alice has seen that play as the best thing you could have had for me. Church is not cool now that she doesn't boss everyone around with their shoulders or anything, but it sure messed up the rest of their heads. I wouldn't be surprised if they all quit.
I've been cleaning this house since 1971, and I never knew this room was here. Sam the butcher dumped me, and I've been miserable at the world ever since. But then today, through the magic of drama, I learned about a loving God, and that there really was hope for someone like me. Then I met the guy who wrote the play. He thought he was some kind of William Shakespeare, but he was really a hack. Anyway, I figured the people at his church, if they could love a hack like him, maybe they'd like a battle axe like me. So I'm going to go back next week and find out more about God. And you ought to come too. But you know why you won't? Because you can't handle the truth.
moments, oh dear. 525,600 minutes. How do you measure a year? In daylights, in sunsets, in midnights, in cups of coffee, in inches, in miles, in laughter, in strife. In 525,600 minutes, how do you measure a year in the life?
Try to say there's nothing wrong with my heart can feel right through your camouflage. Don't try to tell me you'll be strong. I've been there too. I know this road is hard. Oh yeah.
When the ache feels stronger than the strength you feel inside, He's there in your weakness, His grace will abide.
Just let me send out a prayer, a cry for help to heaven from here.
Just let me send out a prayer, speak hope into despair for you. Let me send out a prayer for you.
We're here to help each other, weather these storms together in the name of love.
In the name of love.
That's what friends are all about. We're here to help each other out when the push comes to shove. Oh,
I'll pray you through anything you may
anything you
face.
may face.
Don't worry about a thing, 'cause I'll plead your case.
Just let me send out a prayer, a cry for help to heaven from here. He's a prayer away, a prayer away.
Let me send out a prayer,
Speak hope into despair for you. I send out a prayer.
no need to worry, 'cause I'm in your corner.
I'm in your corner. He's a prayer away, one prayer away. Send out a prayer, speak hope into despair for you. Just let me send out a prayer for you. One prayer away, one prayer for you. He's a prayer away, one prayer away, prayer away. Oh, send out a prayer for you. Send out a prayer. Oh, send out a prayer for you. Send out a prayer. Oh, send out a prayer for you. For you. Send out a prayer. Send it on out. Oh, send out a prayer for you. Send out a prayer. Oh, send out a prayer for you. Send out a prayer. Oh, send out a prayer for you. Send out a prayer.
Starting 64.3. The Enterprise has been experiencing significant problems with crew morale. Jealousy and intolerance have reared their ugly heads in the most unlikely of places. Fortunately, Commander Jealousy and Lieutenant Intolerance have now been assigned to separate duties that involve only their feet, since their hideous heads were contributing to the morale problems. Spock, my trusted second in command, has been more emotional than usual. While performing routine duties in his usual competence, he seems somehow to be other than himself.
How long till we rendezvous with the resupply ship in the Orion sector?
Captain, we're on course for the Orion sector. Unfortunately, we had to take a detour around some galactic construction in the Pleiades sector. That put us behind by 64.3 nanoseconds.
And what kind of construction was it?
It appeared to be some sort of strip mall.
How is that possible in this quadrant of the Federation?
I received a burst transmission from the local data source, the artifacts. It indicated that the strip mall was located in an unauthorized zone inside Federation territory, also referred to as the donut hole.
Contact the Federation and inform them of our revised schedule.
Aye, aye, Captain. Federation, this is the Enterprise. Federation, this is the Enterprise.
What's the problem, Lieutenant?
I'm unable to contact Federation.
Well, twist some of those knobs, push some of those buttons. What's going on here?
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
I need to be notified of these impediments so that I can make course and speed corrections. Scotty, I need a readout on those engines.
Captain, the engines read 64.3% capacity with the pulse rotator activated. I can give you a little more, but you'll lose some efficiency. They're doing the best they can, Captain, considering this ship's been around since the 60s.
Scotty, how is that possible? I thought we'd been on new ships, new voyages and the like.
Captain, this ship's been continually rerunning since her maiden voyage. 24 hours a day on some network. Use your local one. She's been running and rerunning. It can't go on forever, Captain.
We've got time to make up, man. 64.3 nanoseconds. It's a long time. Or is it? That nano part seems kind of short, but always seems to confuse me. I don't know.
Captain, we can lead her out the gas here and inject her to give her a little more. But I don't know how long she can hold together. She's only nuts and bolts, you know. But she's got a soul. I think I can coax it out of her.
Well done, Scotty. What we need here...
Captain, something's got me all shook up. I was just down in the transport room, and I run into some hound dog who just landed on this here ship.
And what kind of hound dog was it?
One of them there Klingons, I believe, had a hunk of ridges on his forehead. It was all brown like a big old teddy bear.
Did he appear dangerous?
Well, logic dictates that our traditional enemies would be dangerous to us. But in this case, the enemy was clearly unarmed.
Well, show this alien in. And remember, caution is in order.
Captain, the Klingon is entering now.
Spock, you failed to inform me that this alien was a beautiful woman. Have you never been on an adventure on this ship before? Do you know what has to happen now? Kissing, hugging, doomed love, one or more fistfights. You unfeeling Vulcan, you.
Captain, wise men say only fools rush in.
But I can't help falling in love again.
I am Zagaba.
You most certainly are. I am Captain James T. Kirk, and I welcome you to the bridge of the Enterprise. I must warn you for legal reasons that, in case of an attack, you assume all risk of injury. You see, the Enterprise was built without the use of seatbelts, and we regularly fall out of our seats during attacks. So, just be careful.
I have heard this, and it shall be so. We've installed airbags on all of our ships, but I like the idea of seatbelts.
Captain, this enemy is a sworn enemy of the Federation. We came together like this.
You know, I think you have just a little something right there. Maybe you forgot to blend this morning.
All right, Mama. Oh, I'll tell you.
I come on a mission of peace.
Peace. I can't tell you how many times I've heard those words before. Peace turned out to be an ill-fated love affair on a remote planet with lots of kissing and fistfights. I can't tell you how many times I've fallen out of that chair after hearing those words. Why would a Klingon come in peace?
I was recently on the planet Virago. Virago was a cold, cold planet with foul weather all of the time. While its system has 64.3 suns, the planet is wrapped in wintry clouds with snow and freezing rain all of the time. Most of its residents moved to the planet Zorida for their retirement.
Captain, this is true. I know of this planet. On a cold and gray Borrego morn, a Federation ship was crushed and torn, twisted metal. A 20th century library ship crashed during a meteor shower. Ancient manuscripts of untold value were lost.
And this is what I found. I found an ancient human manuscript in a pile of wreckage. It had oddly numbered sentences. I found this passage. Do not oppress an alien. You yourselves know how it feels to be an alien. This was written in a manuscript called Exodus. Do you know what Exodus translates to in my language?
Exodus in Klingon. No, I do not.
It is what you would call a cheeseburger.
Cheeseburger, yeah.
I pondered this for a while and decided it had nothing to do with anything. But when I learned that Exodus was a journey in your language, I felt the need to make this journey of peace.
And what is the purpose of your journey?
This manuscript Exodus indicated that there is a God, and he has a journey in mind for all of us.
And how do we know that you're not the devil in disguise?
I have learned of something you have long forgotten. I offer you peace and hope. You have to make your own decision. Do you think I want to come to a place where I am unfamiliar with traditions? Where a language that is alien to me is spoken? Where I may or may not have an ill-fated love affair with a smooth, foreheaded, overly dramatic human who will probably engage in a fistfight with someone? No, none of this is true. I want to give you the choice to give peace a chance.
Zagava, we will consider your words. We have met beings before who claim to be gods, but we have never met anyone willing to tell us about God. Leave us now while we give careful examination to what you say.
must take this Klingon and return to sender. The crew is all shook up over this. We've been on this ship for what seems like 64.3 years, and we never have been told there is a God before. I didn't just fall off the turnip starship. I've lived. My life is full. I've traveled each and every skyway. And now, one thing is clear. I did it my way. And now you're telling me there's another way. I can't believe you emotional humans would believe this.
Emotions, Mr. Spock, are not a bad thing, but emotions have nothing to do with this situation. Let me ask you a question, and you give me the logical answer.
All right.
Have we not traveled far and wide in the galaxy?
Well, we've traveled the known galaxies 64.3 times, Captain.
And have we met God in these travels?
Well, we've met many creatures, and some that have even claimed to be God. That little bald guy with the disgusting veins on his forehead is especially memorable. We've met many beautiful and glamorously dressed female creatures. And we've had fistfights with many, many male creatures. But to answer your original question, no, we have not met God.
And do you think he exists?
Captain, why do you ask these questions? Are you lonesome tonight? Is your heart filled with pain? Should she come back again? Captain, are you lonesome tonight?
I need to hear what she has to say about God. Mr. Spock, I must admit my other motives. I don't know if you've ever noticed before, but beautiful women are attracted to me. And this one, bless my soul, what's wrong with me?
Captain, you have an enemy alien on board. You must decide what to do. Tomorrow will be too late. It's now or never. This will not wait.
Mr. Spock, there is a protocol to these things. Like the river flows to the sea, some things are just meant to be. I must hear what she has to say about God. Uhura calls Zagaba back to the bridge.
Captain, it is illogical for a Vulcan to get involved in human emotional relationships, but she seems to me to be TROUBLE.
Klingon, the captain requires your presence on the bridge.
Mercy, look what just walked through those doors.
Oh boy.
Greetings again, Zagaba. We have considered our travels and have determined that there is validity in what you say. We have not met God, but we believe that he exists.
My reading of the ancient human manuscripts tells me one thing is true, that God created the universe and all things in it, that the only way to God is through his plan. No amount of technology or sophistication can take you into God's presence.
But what about the transporter beam?
Impossible.
Don't be cruel. How does one meet God?
I found this in a section of the manuscript called John. It said that God had a son, and that he came and set forth a method to transport us to God's presence.
How is this possible?
Belief. You must believe and accept that God's son paid your transport fees.
That's it? No photons? No transporter beams? No ill-fated love affair or fistfight?
Just faith.
So, after all this time, we can finally find God. Captain's log started 64.3.643. The crew is jubilant over the good news brought to us by Zagaba. The Klingon Empire is at peace with the Federation, and we are all brothers under God. Jealousy and intolerance have been released from restricted duty since their heads are not so ugly next to all the bumpy-headed Klingons on board. Zagaba and I fell deeply in love and intended to be married when we passed near Earth. Unfortunately, during attack, she fell out of her chair and was killed by a freeze-dried turkey. I was in a prolonged fistfight with the waiter who was holding the turkey, but eventually realized that our love may have been doomed from the start. During the pass near Earth, Mr. Spock resigned and took another position with undisclosed duties in the city on Earth of Las Vegas.
Ladies and gentlemen, Spock has left the bridge.